Live and direct.
The Boombox Union. The Boombox Union.
Starring
Bill Jackson. Bill Jackson.
Come on.
DJ Sober. DJ Sober. The Boombox Union.
live and direct.
The Boombox Union.
Hey, what's going on? This is Phil Jackson along with DJ Soulbug. We make up the Boombox Union here on the YouTube channel. Please go back, hit that like button, and subscribe. Soulbug, man, what's going on, man?
It's maintaining.
Brother, it's a lot of stuff going on. We were talking behind the scenes, but man, big shout out to big shout out to Ben Working. That interview was up on Side BT, but it's on the Boombox Union channel, and it was a dope interview, man. Overtime, volume Overtime, volume 1 is out right now.
Yes.
Where can I get that, Buck?
Clout Death at Band Camp.
That's
Clout
what's
Death
up.
NYC.
And if you heard the interview, Ben Working said send all the proceeds to Soulbuck. He literally said that. Hey, look, we got a special guest coming up in a few minutes. We have legend Parrish PMD Smith from Epmd. He's gonna come on. He's gonna talk about his music career, his journey in the music industry, man. It was just a pleasure that we had him on WPRB, and he actually appreciated the interview and you DJing. I mean, it was a great moment, man.
Yeah.
It was a real, I mean, I'm gonna tell you what else stood out. That moment, John Jiggs was up, RJ the Realist was up, Dingo D came out of nowhere. I'm like, yo, where you been at? I mean, it's like, and
Right.
he still puts out good music, bro. So like that was a couple years ago. Shout out to Digital that put that all together, man. But I'm excited to talk to PMD, man, because it was some things that you can talk about in radio, especially FM radio, terrestrial radio. You only have a limited amount of time to do an interview. But like now, when we do these video interviews, you could go more in depth of what you really want to talk about. So I think it's going to be a good interview. But real quick, it is Saturday, August the 17th, 2024, Jersey Fresh Jam going on right now at the TerraCycle, New York Avenue, Trenton, New Jersey. Yours truly, DJ Soulbuck. He's going to be down there performing, be spinning. And who else is going to be there, bro?
Elo Kush, Sire Martial Law, IRS, Homeboy Sandman, Father Ramsey spinning. Shout out to my man DJ M Ski is spinning. And that's all I can think off the top of my head because I don't have the flyer in front of me.
Yeah, and you're going to be spinning?
Yeah, me too.
DJ Ahmad's
right
going to
after,
be spinning.
as soon as I leave here.
Yeah, AB Zulu, he's going to be hosting the whole thing. So, and there's going to be breakdancing competitions. There are going to be vendors out there. It's going on right now. So if you don't have anything to do, if you're in the Trenton, New Jersey area, please go down to New York Avenue, the TerraCycle, Jersey Fresh Jam. They have it every single year. Shout out to our, was it Leon Rainbow? He's one of the coordinators for it, and he puts together a phenomenal event. Bro, there were artists that were hitting me up saying that, yo, can I perform at the Jersey Fresh Jam this year? I'm like, they do this months in advance, man. So, you just got to go on social media, Jersey Fresh Jam, just look it up. All the information's right there. They got all the sponsors. They got everything right there. And I went out there last year. It's always a dope event, man. But without further ado, we got my man DJ Soul, but he has a special mix Want to tell us who's gonna be in the mix, or people just listen.
Just listen.
Just listen. Hey, look, that's all you got to do. Hey, look, this is the Boombox Union YouTube channel. Please go back, hit that like and subscribe button. We got a couple of dope interviews up there. Daddy-O, been working. Homeboy Sandman, Inspector Deck, and now we're gonna have Parrish from Epmd up. Parrish Smith from Epmd. So we're building up our catalog a little bit. So we're gonna go into DJ Soulbuck's mix, and then we'll come back with the interview. Stay tuned.
DJ Soulbuck, you already know. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
What up? It's your man DJ Soulbuck. The Boombox Union mix is in full effect. So check it out. I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna play some Philly indie classics from like the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to J Ski, DJ Rand, G from Raw Deal, Cosmic Kev, AJ Shine. They played all these records on their shows, man. So I just want to give y'all and give them some light, because a lot of these records don't get mentioned a lot, man. I mean, y'all hear the youngsters, the Roots, so forth and so forth, but there was other groups out here that was also popping, man. So I'm going to play a couple of them for this mix. So I'm going to do something a little different. We're going to play some Philly classics, all right? Check it out. Shout out to the FatCat Clique.
I make moves on your mic like chess. Contemplating the speed at which my rhymes will cause your lyrical depth and sense. It makes me making a mockery of this rap game. Thinking this. I make moves on your mic like chess. Contemplating the speed at which my rhymes will cause your lyrical depth and sense. It makes me making a mockery of this rap game. Thinking this. I make moves on your mic like chess. Contemplating the speed at which my rhymes will cause your lyrical depth and sense. It makes me making a mockery of this rap game. Thinking it's all just about money and fame, but I refrain. Cause in its pure form, the cultural aspects of hip-hop can be seen in those who live it. Wreck mic, yeah, that's the spirit. Now if you're hearing this, the need's for you. Cause ever since like 82, I've been busting digging these fake rappers with a solo with a glue. Those who pull the wool over the eyes of sheep. Mocking on analog formats, the answers of the streets are at bastard. As no one thorough that precedes you. And since I mastered deception, it's your aura that I can see through, it's clear. Trick rap on cassettes and CDs, you're like a vulture, feasting on the styles of true MCs. So flee, or face the fate of those who rely on potential subject matter. Step to the flow and the beat like Big Bad. I come sporty, something naughty with my nature. Acknowledgely, I be the master cause I see everything around EST. Revolve clearly, steady at 360. Can't let them so familiars get me. Trying to steal my energy, busting out my like Bill Bixby. Your politics be on some real suckiness. That's why politics with ES like Ruggedness and the FatCat Clique. We beats that big, ignite and mocha sticks. Now that's that. So roll one, smoke one, say some hypnotism plus rhythm making you a slave son. Got the flow, son.
The Boombox Union.
Big shout out to Prophets of the Ghetto.
Hello? Yo, what's up?
Shout out to Fat Nice.
What's up, Lil? Chillin'. Yo.
My man All Purpose.
Blazing beef from Little Joe. For real? Yeah, I think we could do Wreckless. Writers to it, man. Yo, check the chorus out. Check it out. Wreckless writers, that's who we are. Dominant MCs, that's up the bar. Wreckless writers, that's who we are. Dominant MCs, that's up the bar. Wreckless writers, that's who we are. Dominant MCs, that's up the bar. Wreckless writers, that's who we are. Dominant MCs, dominant MCs.
Yo, alongside me and Big Bob rotting all bikes, building on likes and dislikes. He'll strike, then I'll ignite. The vibe becomes tight. Then what do you know? Freestyles in full flight. Back and forth as we correspond, ejecting each rhyme to get it packed in the mind. The combination itself is hard to find. Innovate with time, plus awake the blind.
Why can't I find some kind of unity? Kids always talking what they gonna do to be. Come on, G, I'm not for the happiness. Battle for your mind and strip your self-confidence. Your low budget creeping through my environment, attracting crowds, rhyming loud with no talent. I'm tired of the limelight MC featherweights, getting through cause the cash flow is great.
What is this? Why MCs sound the same? I'm here to press charges, with orders to restrain anything they bring. Insane, think I can't sustain what I've obtained without any financial gain? I'll react to change. Lock every word you mock, put to an immediate stop. A prop gets chopped by me, the pro-vet of the get, who will unleash your threat, set back your extra step.
You know, jealousy is the main priority. Some come and go without signs of longevity. Weak performing is what got me yawning. Come out on stage with a lot of niggas swarming. Read the warning, what are you doing? Please stay a local MC within your community.
Whack motherfuckers mess up opportunities.
Swearing that they hard, but call for security.
I be's the freestyle pervert with more flavors than yogurt. If your CD short circuit, then you didn't deserve it. How could you try to vouch your mouth to mouth worded? Your high price paradise will stand deserted. Hip hop, I preserve it while the whack converted into getting murdered, son. Word, I should perturb the most preferred rapper, amateur, bachelor, realist to an actor, and that's a known factor.
It feels like your mic don't feel quite right. You don't sacrifice, and that's not nice. You need twice the chance to advance. With chillin' in the place, no one shakes your hand. Cause lyrically you don't stand nowhere near the podium. You taste rather bitter. Here's a pinch of sodium to record companies. Weak acts don't promote them. We use competition for parts and then sell them.
For goodness sake, give me a break. Who in the hell put these brothers on the tape?
Big shout out to D.O.D. Some North Philly shit.
Uncivilized wars with no meaning. Niggas can't look you in the face when they be speaking. Is it jealous when semi? I'm skeptical, professional, rendition, original, criminal. True that, son, realer than life. Full up a cream with daily intentions, yo, I'm shining like ice. It's out for nigga. Let's do or die. It's two faces, disguises. Watch your back for surprises. Cop back, ready to bust, retaliation, no hesitation. Fuck the way and I got no patience, it's a must. Niggas die for the lust. Personal vendettas, with heat that's concealed. The situation when the days of destiny fulfilled. We don't speak amongst a chosen few and ain't fam, they won't fuck with you. Respect's due, get for what you do. You watching me and I'm watching you. Take some of all, they got shells with names on them, setting some ugly. You ain't ready to die for yours, and so then I dust you off public. Leave your earth, when beneath your feet, come fire in your cipher. Leaving likes a new order from the nicest to the trifers. When you point for facing death with 1,000 times, you're written and representing no epics that shatter your mind. And they're still killing this, no witnesses, niggas vacate the fucking premises. I'm even standing mechanics, I've been in this from the genesis.
Indictments got rid soon as the Mobb got hit. So while they back in hell is comments with that chocolate shit. A glass of any 4/5, this whole bitch tried to bend me. Best protect my chest, slugs never go up in me. Plus I'm busting plenty at whoever cause I'm accurate. And niggas on the streets can only talk about half the shit the kid did. 20 years inside the surf, I had business, the guns and money. First day at the birth, corrupt thoughts since I was younger. 40 gravy, ghetto players, hunger, run up blasting, fuck asking, niggas make me wonder.
Yeah, the Boombox Union mix in full effect. Your man DJ Soulbuck, Phil Jackson. This is how it goes down. Make sure you subscribe to the Boombox Union. Let's take it back. And I'm going to play some early Bahamdia. This is her first joint right here. Shout out to DJ Rand on the beat.
Yeah, it's like that, Anna. Yeah, yup, it's like that, Anna.
The main squeeze.
J Ski used to body this on Q102, man.
It's the funk vibe. It's the funk vibe. It's the funk vibe. It's the vibe.
Yeah, it's like that, Anna. Yeah, yup, it's like that, Anna. Yeah, it's like that, Anna. Yeah, yup, it's like that, Anna. Yeah, it's like that, Anna. Yeah, yup, it's like that, Anna.
The Boombox Union.
It's the funk vibe. It's the funk vibe. It's the funk vibe. It's the vibe. Coming in with the rhyme to set it off for those soft. Looking at the front door at main source. Who be supreme like Diana to the Ross. Till the head gets tossed and now they jumping like crisscross. MCs, they must be off of the rocker. Thinking they can stop a sweet talker like Betty Crocker. Clock her, toast the buns like Danish. Got the lyrics running out the anus cause I'm dope with the feeling. The smooth
Big shout out to Bahamdia, you know what I'm saying?
Revision plus a vibe like this. Headstrong, no butter on the pills that I'm corn. Gotta put me on like Benita Applebaum to a corn flow. For the flame and it's swift, and for the smacking that my lips form. Hits. So DJ Randy put me in the mills mix. Knowing I was equipped to make dough like Bisquick. Never fishing for styles among doodle pals. Only popping poop from my bow. Since crowds be giving oohs and ahs for the riff that's live. Followed by a funk vibe.
Big shout out, Ruggedness and Mad Drama. Another record J-Ski broke.
I got my bag of blue funk like the head stop. Now when I hit the skin, they say, oh yes, stop. They get fucking them down, the bomb glad up pop your head. I done that, I like Super Cat, cause I come correction. Spacey like the Jetsons, amping on kids, like flow from the Jeffersons. My funk flow is freakinoid. You're not my homie, I don't play that. No hokey dokey, don't take it back and undid it now. So bam feeling, take the liquor we done. We put the beat on, so here we come. Shit-dibbity bebop, shit-dibbity do the yup. Ruggedness in the man with the bag of puff eyes. Wait, continuously. Whoever this me, you're learning. You still a Pee Wee Herman, a schoolboy. I put my daddy, my skills are lit. I fuck one up and hit him with some rugged shit. So back up, Rocky. I cut you like Chucky. Who's the man? I'm digging him down in my ducky. Boy, don't make me flip. I be coming around the mountain. Nothing below the belly, she sucking. My face feed danger, the long ranger. I know your mama pops taught her not to fuck with strangers. To let the lesson be taught to the kids, here's your toys. They can't fuck with the big boy.
Taking no shorts no more. 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 Taking no.
Big shout out to the TascForce. You might know him as the Non-Brigade.
Lord, I'm taking no shorts no more. Lord, I'm taking no shorts.
Philly classics right here, man. A lot of DJs, y'all need to start playing these shits again, man. Word up. You can't leave them out of history. If you do, Soulbuck will play it.
DJ Soulbuck, baby.
Pray to Lord my soul to keep, but if I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Cause we ain't taking no shorts no more. Yeah, I'm grabbing this mic and breaking it up like it's my whore. And I don't give a damn who I battle rock. Cause when I grab the microphone like Chris, I rock. It's some jealous boys in our town. Punch the book and they get beat down. I got my squad like a cat, mess with me now. I bet some dough that there won't be a taking these suckers out like a loose tooth. But things are dog, you think I'm throwing it on the roof. These chumps when the matter was, take your pick. And guess who's gonna bust these nuts? My daddy, Lord, I'm taking no shorts no more. Lord, I'm taking no shorts no more. Lord, I'm taking no shorts no more. Lord, I'm taking no shorts no more.
All right, I got two more to play. If you from Philly, you probably remember this one right here. Rest in peace to Groove the Most definitely. Shout out to Kannon.
Instead of a microphone check, the mic was erected, detected. Coming from Swift, expected to be blown.
The Boombox Union.
The rhythm of rap or the last Capone. Taking two pieces to your grill. How you feel? Chill and listen to an MC who's really real. To get ill, and I still say, who can match or crash or bash or smash whatever's in my path? You loco, bro. Listen to a real pro. Don't ever sleep. You better keep popping no dose. I'ma face it. Don't try to be basic. Took the title and left them all on vacation. Huh, what the hell is my occupation? To make a law wrong and then throw it in your face. Stop wasting time on a rhyme that won't work. Your lyrics are weak, they really sound hurt. How you figure you could come up and get with the Cannon one case before the nigga? Too fresh, love from Southwest, you know the rest. Take this as a hit, this is a style you can't get with. Nitwit, I'm coming with the force of 1,000 men. Stop and get caught in a case with whirlwind. Huh, now you knowin', I keep it going, keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going.
I mean, look at the way he dresses, man. Come on, that's style. Flash,
DJ Soulbuck, baby.
Hey,
Yo, man, what's up with the milk fat drop top 5?
Big shout out to Tone Love.
He hammered up kid.
Big shout out to Too Tough. FlipNKeeloz.
How they getting those? They flipping kilos, man. Yeah, that's
that Philly classic shit. You know what I'm saying?
This here the track. I'm just
Soul Buck on the mix.
Hey yo, I see him on the corner, I seen him in the club. Seen him in the kitted up cars, pimping hard. Seen him with the pockets fat, fully strapped. Step to a sucker and smack him with the gap. He's the neighborhood claim to fame, and I bet he knows. Everybody knows his game is flipping kilos. Fine little honey with a fanny that'll tip your tongue on his hip. And honey can count money. No extra lick will she give, or will he ever get? Cash flow pro, so no time for no shit. His right hand hit man got it for you to get. I bet he got a number the page Noriega with. The boy's too smooth for the cops. They raid the block but can't stop the rock like Scarface. He's one step ahead and bringing no presidents back from the dead. Flipping kilos.
That's gonna do it for the kid. Know what I'm saying? This is the Boombox Union Mix. This was the Philly edition. Shout out to all the Philly indie artists, the underdogs, man. Had to break y'all records out here, and we gotta resurge these shits, man. If everybody else shit getting played, these got to get played too. You know what I'm saying? All right, Soul Buck is out. Peace, y'all.
And we're back, man. Hey, Soul Buck, man, that was a dope mix, man. Yo, how can people get in contact with you and, you know, everything that you got going on and what stations you're going to be on?
Wednesday nights, I'm on Rap Station, which is Chuck D's radio station, from 7 to 8 p.m. Every Wednesday night. And Thursday night, I'm on Beat Miners Radio every Thursday from 4 to 6.
That's what's up. And your email address, sir?
DJSoulbuck@gmail.com.
Hey, look, man, we're not even going to waste any time. We have a legend. Man, look, I had an honor to interview Parrish Smith at Sabi Radio on WPRB a few years ago. Shout out to D.O.D. He brought up RJ the Realist. He brought up D.O.D. He brought up John Jig. And look, man, I got the legend on right now. No, we have the legend on.
Yes.
Parrish Smith. What's going on, sir?
Yo, everything is good. Good to catch up with you guys. For real. Circling back. Got a lot of ground covered since the last time we've seen each other.
That's what's up. You know what?
Mixing that mix. Because you did a special mix that they added up with the turntable. How many times? And it went from actually us doing it live to edit the way the song actually went. So I got a salute on that.
Oh, wow.
Word. That's dope.
That's what's up. And you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and get this out the way so we could just go ahead and start the interview. You, Epmd, very influential group, late 80s, early, even to now. I'm gonna give you one story, Parrish. You guys are the reason why I got a Samurai Suzuki.
Wow, isn't that crazy? That's a crazy story too, because the influence and what was going on at the time.
That's the only reason why I got the Samurai Suzuki, because I heard it in an Epmd song. But you know, congratulations on everything. You've been in the music industry for like 36 years. Put out so many group records and solo records, had so much influence of bringing people into the music industry that are still in the music industry now. So like my first question to you is like, how does that feel? Like how was that whole feeling back in 88? You know, just strictly business. Just take me back to that time when that album was being made, man, because that is a true classic album.
Wow, yes. And to this day, when we drop every classic from there, we get the same response. The atmosphere, though, I'm glad you're asking me these questions, because while you were asking me the question, you know, the picture plays in the head. It was more about the getting approval of our colleagues. So Epmd was the last group to come in from that golden era. Okay, I think even Lightbeat assembled audio too. Okay. So for me, it was more or less getting the approval from my peers, like the KRS Ones, the Big Daddy Kings, the Rakims. And what I mean by approval, a lot of that was driven by tour and promotion based before computers and the internet. So once you had a hit record, now you was in the circuit to tour, And then every night you was either number 1, 2, 3, 4 on the lineup, or you was headlining. But the reality was hip hop back there only got 1 hour. Okay. And you had to get all of this music in 1 hour. And there's a handful of hip hop nice cats like Rakim, like I said, like Big Daddy Kane. The list goes on. So once we got to these shows, your show also had to match your performance on your records. So that's where Strictly Business came in, being an outsider. Starting with my brother Smitty D and the Rock Squad. I was DJ Easy P. I was too young to sign on Tommy Boy Records, which was a blessing in disguise. Because then once I would have got older, I probably wouldn't have been able to sign Epmd to Sleeping Bag Records. So being around my brother and my sister and that phenom of them being around the Bronx before it even popped off, they were giving block parties in Long Island in 1979. You know, I was around hip hop before it was called hip hop. Now we have Run DMC coming in. You know, you got Sucker MCs, you know, Take a Step Back, Can't Forget the Spoonie G, you know, Can't Forget the Message. Got to go all the way back to King Tim III. But then Eric B. and Rakim comes in, you know, Eric B. for president, make them clap to this. That's like 3 towns away from us in Wyandanch. So when you got Public Enemy in Freeport with Flavor Flav, then you got Eric B. and Rakim, and then you have my brother who had Smitty D and the Rock Squad in 85. Yo, that competition of just to get the approval to try to get on the Mr. Magic World, you know, world premiere. That was the goal. First, let's get past Make It or Break It. And to be honest with you, coming from Long Island, we always had to do like an extra 100 push-ups because people slept on us. So that's why the music was that much, you know, banging, and the lyrics, the time, that much more time was put into it because people always slept on Long Island.
That's what's up. And you know what? I actually wrote down like a list of questions, and one of my questions was, well, it wasn't even a question, but I just wrote down Long Island, and Long Island is that's
Strong Island.
It's self-explanatory.
DMC and Chuck D would be tight with me if I didn't say Strong Island right now. So okay, go ahead. I'm there.
No, I'm just saying, like that was one of the words that I wrote down was Long Island, because Long Island MCs have a very prominent history in the hip hop culture, man. So can you briefly, you did speak about, can you speak about it a little bit more? Like who influenced you out of Long Island to form Parrish Smith and Epmd?
Well, first it came before our era, before the Eric B. and Rakim. Like again, the Run DMCs, you know, It's Like That, Sucker MCs, Rockbox, you know, the reality of that whole phenomenon, Slick Rick, Dougie Fresh, excuse me, Dougie, like where is that? What's going on right there? Okay. And then watching that go from the Grandmaster Flash, the Run DMC, to the Eric B. and Rakim, it was all about making sure hip hop wasn't a fad. People keep forgetting that part. A lot of people disrespect the music. They slept on it. They said it wasn't going to work. And that was a majority of the fight. Now, I also have to give Run DMC and Jam Master Jay props because we were the youngins, but our music was banging so hard, they showed us love. So we got to ride on the tour bus for free. Okay. We got to be front row and see with these guys. Got to wake up every morning, see the shell toe Adidas with no string in them, you know. So you're going from home looking at it on TV, listening to the radio 86, listen to the radio in the car in 86 at the Garden, to being blessed enough, like they letting us ride free. We had the bottom bumps. That's how close we were to the shell toes. We had the bottom bumps, and then we caught the tail end of Run DMC, Epmd, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Public Enemy, and Stetson Sonic. So we was fortunate enough to be part of the era with Strictly Business, but then once the album went #1, we actually got picked up to go on tour, Run's House tour.
That's what's up. You can go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, that was the question I was going to ask him. What was tour y'all went on? Because the first time I seen y'all was the Nitro tour in '89 when y'all came to Philly, and it was De La Soul, Slick Rick, Big Daddy was the headliner. Could you name some of the best tours you and Eric have been on Like some of your best experiences being
Yeah.
on?
Yo, you just hit it. Definitely the Runs House tour. The Nitro with LL Cool J, the intro there. The Public Enemy, EPMD, Sonic runs in Europe was amazing because we was always there when historical, monumental events was taking place in the world. Perfect example, we was in Berlin, Germany when the Berlin Wall came down on the tour bus about an hour from performance time. You know, so it's events like that where because of hip hop, we was actually in the country when all of these events was like taking place. And then you got the Art of Rap tours with Ice-T and stuff like that.
Right.
All of these tours connected, the ones that we just came off the hip hop 50th anniversary and celebration of that on a whole nother level though. You know, not just venues like Yankee Stadium was sold out, Radio City was sold out, Madison Square Garden with Funkmaster Flex. Everything sold out. So people from our era finally got that good look. But more importantly, while I was out there, I got to listen to the guys who inspired me, like the Cold Crush Brothers. Okay. And, you know, what they were speaking to me about was after the 50th hip hop anniversary, let's not just let it stop here, you know, to keep moving forward with the hip hop. So this year, for my birthday, I gave a nice event at SOBs, and the Cold Crush Brothers came out, Smith and Wesson
Yes,
came
I did
out.
see that.
Yeah, that was like 2 months ago. And then from there, now you just have that camaraderie. Can't forget Rodney C from Wild Style. Like when I was 14 years old, now don't even have a contract. Rodney C used to come out to visit my older sister and was connected to my older brother because for some reason my older brother knew all of this. He was a promoter, record label. This guy was doing all of this, and I just was his young brother watching it. So my run this trip is really to pay homage to the guys who was on those tapes. Because look at all the tours, like you said. How many stages have we wrecked? How many times have we sold out the power? Like really in tune. And I think the biggest crime is about having such a big following. You have to be conscious to be up enough to make sure the actual movement evolves. So with that being said, the Cold Crush Brothers felt like when this tour was over for the 50th, let's do some more shows. And that was one of the goals that actually got accomplished, and closing the communication gaps. So sometimes I had to go up to Rock the Bells Radio, sit down, do the interviews, catch up with them. But just bringing them to the way it is for us when we travel, when we get on the plane, when we land, how the city embrace us, you know, just the plane, the flight, the hotel, the little stuff that you can take for granted. You got to remember there's people before you that blazed this trail. And it's like the sports game. It's like the NFL, and you guys know baseball. That's the difference between Reggie Jackson and you can name one of the cats from the Yankees. Okay, they say the guy on the bench gets paid more than the guys before their generation top guy got paid. So the money is different. And more importantly, I think we're in an era where these young kids of this era, they want to see the Cold Crush Brothers. They want to see the cats in the original origin where it starts. And this is what I'm seeing out there. So you have the big stadiums and you have the venues, but then you know how KRS-One is. He's a strong believer of packing 300 capacities and working with the promoters. So that's where our era comes in, where you can do shows with Rod Digger. Okay. You can do shows with Rodney C. He's not just an artist and a dope MC. This guy was one of the first rappers in a movie and on NBC. Okay. So we know, like, okay, it's cool that hip hop evolved, but you notice when you watch NBA, LeBron gets down, Curry gets down, but when it's time for the All-Star, you see Julius Erving, you see all the greats before, and they're integrated so the NBA could be strong. And the same thing with football. So we kind of see it now with hip hop. You know, you're talking to me, but I be speaking with Ice-T and Chuck D. And the difference now is before we, in our mind, we had this crazy illusion, like we could go to the industry, we could get our music set up, radio, blah, blah, blah. Now, in the future, which is the present, if you don't do it, it's not going to get done. That's why I dropped my new single, It's On You. because once you've been in the game long enough, you realize you can have a manager, you can have a record company, distribution, and all of this. But if you ain't fired up every day, if you ain't in the paint with the tongue out catching plumber's crack, it's not going to happen because somebody else is up 4:30 in the morning. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So the answer to your question is I never get to see it because I'd be too busy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Gotcha. You have another question?
Yeah, I got another one. Is there any unreleased like solo joints from you or from EPMD that never seen the light of day and in their albums in the future? So to speak?
Yeah, that's a great question. See, that's my biggest problem. There's tons of that.
Really?
But, yeah. But the problem is you never think it's good enough. That's my problem with my solo stuff. You know, and I have some EPMD stuff as well. But when you come with a It's My Thing, you got to chill. So what you're saying, please listen to my demo. You know, just the caliber of that in the climate of where hip hop is now. You know, we always dealt with this our whole career. There was nothing wrong with somebody doing a crossover song. I just didn't do that for the state that hip hop was in. I thought it was too fragile. You know, I just thought like in the early days, you know, I sampled the whole first album without even clearing the sample. Okay. But that's what got sampling sample clearances companies. You know, I was ahead of my time. My whole point is at that time, R&B used to borrow a lot of the hip hop tracks and they would get the gold and platinum and they would get the credit. Meanwhile, hip hop will be over here struggling, but still getting gold and platinum with no radio support. You understand what I'm saying?
Radio,
so now look at where we at now in 2024, heading to 2025. To me, it's appearing you still have radio, but the real game is in the digital.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a follow up with that is, and I'm glad that Sobuk actually asked you that. Now with the EPND stuff, they've never seen the day of light. Like, do you have to get? Do both sides, you and Eric, have to agree on to put it out, or like how does that work?
Normally, with technically, yeah, that's the way we've always worked. That's why the group is what it is, you know. But for the unreleased stuff that nobody's never heard, then still the correct steps are taken just so you have the support. You know, I guess what I'm saying, people know the difference between when you're just winging it and you're doing yourself than when both of us is at the table. So you have our regular music that we do, but then we have things that's in pieces, vocals in pieces. You know, we've been doing this for 37 years. You know, but the whole point is touring and moving around the world is the whole thing. You can't isolate yourself. So when you say, do we have music? We have the music. But we kind of came up in the era of you come forward with the music, you come forward with the single, you come forward with your merchandise, then boom, you hit the plane or you hit the Sprinter or you hit the train or you hit the ferry if need be, and then you go around and promoting it. But you have to really put some serious time into that. But now we're in the era where you can get fly and you can have some fun. So the answer to the question is I love the solo because I can move a quicker speed. And people love to hear Rugged and Raw, Style Cramp, you know, just the songs that I've done. And you can move on the stage different. But now with EPMD, it's a whole big situation, but it's not no pressure or nothing like that. It's just about being in tune to the times. Like, please listen to my demo. You know, that came on the second album, but that just was a song to let you know, as much as good things going on, we didn't forget how it is to have to put a demo and then get out there, hit the paint, and try to get signed. You know, so all our music was conceptual, like crossover and stuff like that.
No, that's what's up. This is just my personal question to you. Do you still work on cars?
Yo, it's crazy you should say that, man. It's like, yo, it's bugged. You go through life, and the next thing you know, and it doesn't matter how technical. You understand? So we're in the era where there's, you know, the cars are all computer driven and all this other stuff. But I still got my 68 Camaro from Please Listen to My Demo that I built. It's right there.
Really?
The IROC Z, you know, and then my son, you know, they're different. They like cars that you don't have to take to the shop. They like cars that you can work on. So my son just turned 18. Battery, I sit there, change all of this stuff, alternators, you know, oil. It's good to get your hands dirty. It's good to get in the dirt and the soil. You understand what I'm saying? So the answer to the question is I was self-taught from back in the days because honestly, we didn't have bread to buy cars. We just used to see our friends with cars, you know. So when I got older, a lot of my boys drove muscle cars and used to drag race like an hour away from my house. But when you blew your engine, you can go to the junkyard, get a car that was totaled, take that engine out, put it back in your car, be out there ready to drag race that Friday night. That impressed me. So that's why I ended up with the 68 Camaro and the muscle car. And plus, when your shit break down, you don't gotta wait there for AAA.
No, you're right.
You know?
Hey, Bug, isn't it so crazy? Like
you should really be hands on.
Hey, Bug, isn't it so crazy? Like, can you imagine like legendary, iconic rappers saying, "Hey, pass me the wrench," trying to tighten up, you know?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, but that is so real though, man. I wanted
because think about it, man. It's the way you envision it. So I could be out here messing with the transmission, messing with the motor, all this other stuff, got grease and everything. Then I got a show and a plane to catch. The beauty is taking all of that off, getting ready, and now you don't even got to drive. You can hit Uber. Uber tells you what time the car going. This whole new situation is kind of like Avatarish. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the beauty. The problem is when you get away from that and then you get on that Pootie tank. Pootie tank can't change no matter. Pootie tank can't go to the store. That's when now you sit down and you try to write around and you start coming up with Mickey Mouse shit. No.
All right. Hey, my next question is what are the pros and cons about being in a group? Because you know, just like I just, you know, just being a fan of Epmd, and to be honest, and I'm not just saying this because you're up here,
doubt,
but
I can tell.
Epmd is probably my all-time favorite group of all time. Like real quick, real backstory. Me and my best friend Adam, shout out to my man Adam out there in Philly. When we were in high school, we thought that we were in Epmd. You know what I mean? I mean, like we emulated you guys so much, and you know, with just the dress, how you dress, just the fisherman hats and everything. But my question to you is, what are the pros and cons about being in the group?
I really think it's on you, and I really do think it's about respecting the blessing and the promise you made to yourself before you signed the contract. So you don't have all this access to nothing, and then God blesses you, and it's on you what you do with the blessing. But you never put the pressure on the group that people love you for. Okay, so if you want to do something outside the group, that's cool too. Just don't let what you do outside the group affect the group. Okay, and you use Ice Cube as an example with NWA. He's able to come together with Dre. Okay, he's able to come together with MC Ran and do things in the course for NWA. But he's also able to go out there by himself, do his music, do his shows, and in his case, he's been super blessed to be in the movie and now the Big Three and stuff like that. So I think your main group should have no pressure on it, no stress. And when the universe wants something from us in regards to hip hop, because a lot of our, in my opinion, superheroes are gone. So you have to give them yourself. You can't be selfish. You have to look at the life that you have and look at what hip hop gave you for the last 37 years, and you're still relevant. So there's a difference between giving back to the culture than still trying to suck the culture. Okay. Right. So when you have Mobb Deep, you have Prodigy not here. So then you go to Run DMC, you have Jam Master Jay, and then the list, goes on. And then we didn't even get to cover the Bismarck. Okay, so I think, and all the problems and all the stuff, blah, 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 that's all small potatoes in comparison to the big picture. And in the big picture, you have so many people praying and it just never happens. So how could you have something on this level and be selfish as opposed to selfless and giving the people who made you who you are? Okay, So I heard it's about service to community, and then the more you give back, the more you receive. And more importantly, to be honest, how could you be selfish and know the people before you, the generations that helped you get here, did not see what you saw? So why can't you stop and lend them a hand? Okay, so something as big as EPMD, you can't get no more famous than we actually are. But because hip hop done lost so many soldiers, I feel it's very important for us, and we do have that type of relationship. It basically runs itself. Once we give a green light and we okay, everything just flows, and the next thing you know, you're there like that. So you don't put no pressure on that. But if you want to branch out and do something else, then that's fun too, because you can help other people. You can't just put that pressure. That's what happened the first time. Too much pressure on one boat. Okay. But if you respect the group and you respect the legacy, because we're second behind Run DMC, then you can go out there and do your thing.
No,
you know me.
You can go ahead, Bob.
Boons, I'm DJ Honda, PMD. Big shout out to Tone Coffee Shop. You know what I mean? Conway. There's cats out there on the independent level, like really, like I said, I'm back in the UK October 17th. That's the fun part of hip hop, where the B-boys and the B-girls show up and they trying to figure out, like, what's this next level of hip hop? Okay, we've seen the hip hop 50, but to some it seemed like you only saw those who had classic records. And there's a minimum of 5 elements. So with this being the 51st year moving forward, I can tell by the energy in here. You know what I mean? The responsibility has been put into our hands, and what hip hop means to you, you're going to give back.
Right.
So that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm where I'm at. We have full access to everything. We fly all over the place. It's educational to fly to Johannesburg, Africa. Then 1 minute you're over here, the next thing you know, you're over here, but you're actually out there. And they say to really do it, you have to come out of your comfort. You have to come out your comfort zone and be able to learn to listen and listen to learn. So if you're talking, it's hard to receive.
That's what's up.
I want to go back to the whole Long Island scene. Who was some of the people you highly respected when you was coming up, and who were some of the people now who we should look out for that might not be heard of just yet, or might not have been they haven't fully taken off yet?
Well, I definitely would have to start off with the ones because they just had young dope MCs who got busy and just did it for the love. And nobody heard of them. They even died. But out of that pack came Bismarcky. And Bismarck was so amazing because he was everywhere. When you look at Biz, from Brentwood to Bayshore to Brooklyn, you name it, Biz was there. And not even just the traveling part. His show was amazing. He was amazing DJ, a beat connoisseur and a hip hop connoisseur, in my opinion. If there was any sample, anything you needed to know, Bismarck. Bismarck comes from Long Island. Not to mention the Yo Gabba Gabba. Then you got Divine Sounds. What people do for money. I grew up around all of that. And then as you get older and times pass, you look at it and you got to ask yourself, look at what people do for money. Okay. So now you have a new and then you got, of course, Chuck D. Of course, you got Rakim, De La Souls, all, the regular guys. And then you got the underground movement of the independent of guys who are using the grassroots tactics to come up. And that would be like John Jiggs and the RJs and stuff like that.
Okay.
And of course, there's a lot more, because there's people out here who be giving, the award ceremonies. They have award ceremonies in Long Island that runs parallel to the award ceremonies in Manhattan in hip hop.
Really?
So and some of them, as you see, they be big. They don't be small. Like one of my guys got a hip hop shop out there in Nassau County. He does it every year, and he has everything hooked up in Long Island, and up until this point, the people have the respect. So he be having a good turnout.
No, that's what's up.
Yep.
You got another question, Buck?
That's it. That's it for me. Most of them he answered already. So,
yo, like I said before, we got Parrish Smith on from EPMD talking about
that's the chill
his
cat.
music journey.
Listen, and when you get a chance, Phil, Jack, and Buck, check out the new website. It's ParrishPMD.com. It
Okay.
speaks for itself, you know. So anytime you want to catch up with me on Instagram, I'm Hit Sqwad MG for music group. All right. But the website, ParrishPMD.com. That's where all the movement come in. That's where all the new music and the singles. You know, big shout out. It's the 35-year anniversary for Unfinished Business. You know,
Yes.
and our catalog is so big, and the classic is so big, and the situation that hip hop is in. You know, from what hip hop done for me the last 37 years, and being one of the leaders in the Hit Sqwad and the first squad of all squads, and then what you see the light and the bad light. You know, it's time for the guys like you see Rakim having fun in the studio at his
Yes,
crib.
he is.
That's where you should be right now. Just
That's
having
what's
fun.
up. Now, my question is the Hit Sqwad, like, you know, that formed phenomenal MCs. Do you feel as though that it doesn't get that proper place in hip hop because it's so many super groups? But that was probably one of, well, DITC was in the Hit Sqwad. Like, do you feel as though that doesn't get like a proper enough credit for bringing out tremendous artists and what you guys, because at one point in hip hop, it was nothing. It was all Hit Sqwad. It was definitely
No
all
question.
Hit Sqwad.
High
Yeah.
intelligent thinking, hit initial target. Then you're 1000% correct. But through the breakup EPMD, and then, you know, all the rumors and the lies out there, it kind of distorted all the greatness. But the whole point was for hip hop to survive and not be a fad. We was there. So it didn't matter who crossed the line or who held the trophy. The reality is the culture survived, and now it's worldwide and universal. And then it's up for us to stay physically fit and keep up with it. So once our group broke up, Wu-Tang came in, you know, Rockefeller, Rock Nation came in. You've seen all the other groups take it to a whole nother level where we don't have to worry about it's a fad no more. So far as the Hit Sqwad, the first squads or squads, and it ain't over with yet. But the answer to your question, I definitely feel we do not get the recognition that we actually deserve for the time put in.
No, I'm glad you cleared that up.
But
Now,
it's not salty or nothing like that, because you're just happy to be blessed that you one of the ones who got to be part of that phenomenon in the golden era.
my question to you is, like, when somebody from over the Death Squad back then had a dope album or a dope single, did y'all communicate back and forth like, yeah, that was pretty dope, man? It's like,
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely
okay.
the support. Yeah, there's no question. You know, back there it was amazing because I did most of the music, most of the business. So it was good to see my guys get out there, regardless of the outcome, regardless of the climate or what being saying. You could not deny what it really was. And it allowed me to get some rest and then circle back around and then finish what we started. But a lot of that times I spend time with E, like Countdown and stuff like that, you know, or some of the artists dropping the singles. It was always like that. You always had to have an open mind and an open heart, or you yourself would get stuck. So all of these guys are just an extension of me, and we're just evolving and learning.
No, that's what's up. Real quick, side note, that Das Effects album, the second one, phenomenal. I still play that to this day, man. That album was crazy.
The back cover alone, the group pick.
Yes, and they was having a tough time because so many people was using the Iggity, okay, and then they was just like, we don't want to come with the Iggity and stuff like that, and they just wanted to show the hip hop community that they can get down straight up just like that, but that's their style and they own it.
Okay, since EPMD, has had a lot of endorsement deals throughout the years, and so many that you probably don't even remember, but the two that stand out to me the most recent ones were the UN Athletics. You had the sneaker deal and the Boombox deal with the customized EPMD boomboxes. So how does that make you and Eric feel like still getting those endorsement deals 30 plus years later?
Well, it makes you feel good, and it lets you know that you're relevant, that people still want to do business with you. you know, and from our standpoint of view, that, you know, has always been the goal. Because if you don't have a voice, then you're technically out of the game. Okay. And most people, when they come in, they get caught up in the trappings of the game. You know, you're traveling. There's a whole bunch that comes with this. But I have to take a step back because it was the Ewing, okay, it was the Bump Box, and then the Love right after that when Nas came with EPMD's Back in Business. So all the stars lined up in the neighborhood and hip hop and basically in corporate, you know, all around the world. And that's what's actually needed. It always goes back to the beginning. So the answer to the question is, it was real dope because we did 3 sneakers with Ewing. And the whole concept was to represent each album with the album coordination through the sneaker. So Strictly Business sneaker had that. Unfinished Business was blue with the color coordinates on the album and the gold and platinum plaques. And the same thing as the Business as Usual ones that I have right now that I like, you know.
No, that's what's up.
It just shows you right now, you're only over when you beat yourself in your mind, you know. But this is about longevity. And you're starting to see it. You're seeing it with Tom Brady. You're seeing it with LeBron. You see it with us. The old cliche of the way the world used to run is gone now. And basically everybody's like, let's go. And if you feel you can do it, then you can go. If you do Uber driver, yo, you can drive until you're tired. DoorDash, like there's no reason to sit still if you really want to get out there, get that bread, flip it, put it back into your business, and then boom. The biggest crime is for, you know, to have the dream in your mind, but because of fear, which is false evidence appearing real, or naysayers and friends. That's the big thing. You know, you don't want to become 70, 75 years old and look back and realize that you could have gave it a greater effort, you know?
No, that's what's up. Real quick, just going back to EPMD days, were there any songs that you particularly didn't like, or Eric didn't particularly like, and it turned out to be like a hit, or like it was one of like the favorite EPMD songs? Were there any one songs in the studio like, nah, I'm really not feeling that song? So was there one particular song?
Well, to be honest, the first 3 albums, I did the music, the production, okay? And we had to keep up with a pace. And with that pace, we was not in no position to sit back and do extra songs. So every song that was made, we had to work with the situation of me coming back from Connecticut in the 68 Camaro, signing Eric out of high school, using the 4-hour time slot to actually 2 hours to make the beats and then 2 hours to put the rhymes together. So we was not in a position to be like, oh, well, yo, we got like 20 songs and we only want to come with 12. But what I will say is, on Business Never Personal, because we started growing, then responsible for K Solos, DOS Effects, Redman, Top Quality, Hurricane G, rest in peace, the Knuckleheads. You know, the list goes on. Okay. We was gonna drop Don't Play Me, Play the Next Man on Business Never Personal, because I keep it a stack. We was up in the Naughty by Nature hype. That's how it was really moving. DOS Effects broke left, dropped They Want Effects. The Naughty by Nature came out. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. So everybody, that record was so big. So we came with Don't Play Me, Play the Next Man. Cut her off, you know, and was convinced. And that's when Russell said, y'all need to go back in the studio, do another song, or you're over if you drop this single right here. Because the perception of our fans and what people expect from EPMD, you expect the choppers, it's my thing, you're a customer, demo, you know, our format. That was for Naughty by Nature. And that's how it works. And sometimes if you got kids, you know, you send them back in, and out of their frustration and thinking they mad at you, they come right back with exactly what you needed them to do. And we drop crossover. Okay. So that was the difference between getting the Hit Sqwad, all those big hits, and then came with Don't Play Me, Play the Next Man. You would have been like, yo, what is EPMD doing? But because we had people there watching us, it was up to us. We could have said, nah, we good, and dropped it. But we took some constructive criticism, and Crossover was the last song that we actually did, which turned out to be our only gold single.
Really?
Yeah, EPMD's only gold. Yeah, Crossover. Well,
Really?
Gold Digger.
Okay.
Well, Gold Digger's up.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
That's when we went to you know, guys, we don't have time today. You know, with there was no sound scan. You know how the whole thing went. But I was never into that. I never had a problem with the backdooring. I never had a problem with the bootlegging because I knew it was all part of the process. And if you put your time into that, then you started looking like the guy, like, stay away from him. Okay. So, you know, how could you have this talent do something? Was it right? No. But if you understand how the world goes and you come up from the hustle, hustle's gonna hustle. Okay. And I always looked at it if, hey, if this guy's gonna do this, he's actually promoting me and getting us out there further as well. So we don't always have to see a revenue return, you know, for somebody out there. He would have to believe in us. Now, after the EPMD era, it looked like nobody cared. Whatever was hot, if they could sell it, they could sell it. But when we was moving, we knew what time it was, and it was our best interest because it was like a side promotion that we can count on.
That's what's up. Buck, you have one more last question, didn't you?
Oh, I'm charging up now. We can go. Now let me stop.
Another EPMD album in the future.
Well, looking at what's going on, again, you know, it's everybody's getting back to the raw basics, like Pete Rock and Common. Okay. You see DJ Premier, okay, and how he's moving. So now it's all about back to the authenticity and what your fan base expects to hear. You know, and I think with all of this excitement, because these shows are packed out there. You know, hip hop is very much alive, and the energy's there, and there's an understanding, and there's no resistance like before. There was no resistance. If you thought you can do it, then you could come through and do it. You want to drop your album, cool. But I was like, yo, I dropped my album. Yo, nobody else here? I could drop, you know, okay, solo. Oh, nobody else here? Okay, I can bring Redman. Nobody's still in the lane? Okay, yo, let's come with TascForce, create the hit squad. You know, and then through that being the first squad, all the other squads followed, which secured hip hop to make sure that it wouldn't be a different fad. You know, different, you know, crews came through and named it totally different. But the concept of EPMD, TascForce, Redman, K Solo moved on to make hip hop what it is today.
That's what's up. What would the present Parrish Smith say to the younger Parrish Smith back then about, you know, how to move around in the industry? Like, what advice would you give your younger self?
Always follow your intuition. I come from the sports. Both my parents from Brooklyn, my pops from Marcy, mom's from Bedford-Stuyvesant, 2 brothers, 4 sisters. You know, my bench is very, very deep with hustlers who wake up 5:30 every morning. They're not connected to this hip hop. They're just hard workers. And then when you see them, I'm a reflection of that. Only they don't get to go to the concerts. They don't get to fly on the planes and stuff like that. So you represent their struggle. Okay. And if you always remember where you come from, you got so many brothers and sisters, the holidays, we all tight. You know, my mother and father run the ship. Both of my parents are still here. So with that being said, with the breakup, I just got to go home and really take a look. Go back to the same place that made me in the first place. And there's one thing that nobody could really predict is time. And Father Time waits for no man or no woman. So the goal that I set out to I accomplished. So now it's just fun and just, you know, just staying on top of the business and keeping things in perspective. Because the crime would have been to just sit there or complain or make excuses. We don't come from a family like that. We come from a family, there's nothing on the ground. And one of the biggest things I learned in the industry is no matter what happens, always keep those legs moving. And that's from the big guys. So it's kind of interesting to be in 1992 and to be given this great effort to not know what the future is going to bring. And then you come full circle and run into the same people who gave you that advice. Now only you older. And plus you're a parent. So you learn through your kids. And you're not going to let nothing happen to you that you wouldn't not let happen to your children.
That's what's up. Now,
Vice P guy.
How booked is PMD, Eric Sermon, group solo acts? Like since the 50 years of celebration last year, how booked have you guys been so far in the summertime? Because I know it's been extremely busy. And you said you're about to go overseas in October, right?
Yes, for me on my solo, because January to May, that's what I was on. Like I did the hip hop 50, but I knew I couldn't create a lane, to do what I wanted to do with the Cold Crush, Melly Mel, Rodney C, and stuff like that. That's that rough, rugged, and raw style cramp. You can get it done. And when you have the power to do it yourself, it's pretty cool independent. Again, you got to look at the Hondas, you got to look at the Snow Goons, you got to look at all these independents, Giselle, all of them, Conway. Like, this is where it's actually at, where you can wake up, put your plan together to drop a single, to drop an album, to hit 20 cities, 20 countries, pull your passport out, go around the world. That's like, you don't have to go nowhere. You just got to put the plan together. I'm from the Sleeping Bag, the Def Jam, the Atlantic Records, East West Records, the REO Records. So I came up around the greats when I was the youngest. I was taught by the Russells, the Leos, the Sylvia, the Rifkin family, Jamie Roberts, and all of that. And now we're veterans. So coming from the Run House tour and see how this really rocks, I think the real thing is to understand the business aspect of it. And the business aspect is like your people like yourself, when you set the time yourself to do the interviews, people like the promoters, people like the venues, because that problem we had in the beginning, there was a lot of 40s flowing, a lot of hen dog flowing, a lot of trees flowing, that's about as far, but the party, it goes somewhere else. Okay. Right. And to me, there's nothing worse than seeing a family, a promoter in a whole city just do so much work to bring you in town, and you're just not even in key or in tune with anything going on, and you're just there to pick up the bread. That ain't helping hip hop.
No, that's what's up. Now, tell me about the new single that's out right now. Shout out to Kevin, because he actually sent it to me, and we're gonna get that on
connected right.
radio.
Charlotte Mecklenburg, 704. Yo, the single is just like P's way of, I'm pretty much done. It's all fun for me. Now it's just like, and again, you see Rakim in the studio. That's where you should be. You have fun in your life. You see your kids growing up. But then when the phone rings, you say, like, is it packed, or the calls and stuff like that? Yo, when you know how to move the speed of light and you really move that speed, the big thing is, do you have brakes to stop? So, sometimes you can run 30, 40 cities. Right now, we on chill mode. This, after the Hip Hop 50th, my mom's literally had to call me because we've been gone since last February. So February to February is 12 months. And then you got March, April, May, June, July, August. So that's 16 months. You got to know when to pull the plug and refuel or burn yourself out. So that's why, like, we hit it. But when we hit it, we hit big stuff. Like we just did Cincinnati and LA. The one coming up in London, those are the runs where the underground and the independent shows up. So those are fun, loose. It's just you out there getting busy with the new movement of the website and the single. But that single on you, and my assessment of the game being there 37 years, no matter what you do, it's really truly on you. And there's no greater gratification than when you stick to it and there's light on the end at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. Are you going to be doing some American dates, spot dates too, touring?
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God, man. Like, again, we just did Charlotte, but to be perfectly honest with you, we're going to end the year December 14th. It's going to be Epmd, Ice Cube, MC8, and Scarface in Detroit 313. So you understand what that's going to be? So last time we was out there with Nas, us, and D12, and Royce the 5'9". So it's just straight mic wreckage, straight real hip hop raw in your face. And this is what it is. It's not like the old situation where you're just so far in it, you're kind of like struggling and just have enough energy to do the show. This is what hip hop should really be, like taking it serious, like Michael Jackson and Chuck D. When you're going out there, the people up there, some of them got babysitters, getting haircuts, clothes, parking. You know what I mean? So you can't come out there. I got jokes, but I keep it, how it go. The Temptations is a perfect example.
Right.
Otis, you understand? Or if you're doing in the spotlight. I know, we ain't got time for it. Okay. So that's when somebody has to call a timeout and say, okay, now come on. The fans are watching.
Right.
That's the beauty of EPMD. as big as we're a group, we're also regular people in the real world too. And part of the longevity is being able to listen to the people around you and what they
Right.
tell you. That's why we're still here. I'm looking at you guys. You guys are from our era, but back then it was kind of taboo to be old school or old head.
Yep.
Oh, it's always
Yep.
the same argument too. Like the Rolling Stone, Mick Jagger's still out there. Yeah. Yo, up like 400 million. Like I'm straight to voicemail. You know. And some of my other guys in the crew is very boisterous because again, I mostly be working. But the reality of the blessing of what hip hop is, where you could be here, next thing you know, in France. Like when we were looking at the Olympics in the Eiffel Tower, we was just there. Like you have no idea, wilding. You know, doing the show double headers in France with the Eiffel Tower. Hip hop does that.
No, that's what's up. Last question: when it's all said and done, and I don't see it coming to an end. I don't see it coming to an end. Period. But how would you want people to remember EPMD? You know, like what, like how what do you think your group and what you've done, group and solo in the industry? How do you want to cement yourself in that history?
Well, in the history, it's untouchable, and people know you can't touch that. It's the most sampled rap group in hip hop history. Again, I just think because the inaccuracy of who did what and the breakup kind of distorted that. But it was a super blessing for me because then behind the scenes, I got to do my homework, grow up, see what the group really means, and the whole purpose of the journey. And remember, like it's a marathon, not see. Some people think this is the 50-yard dash. I don't have time for the comedy today. Okay. And there's nothing worse than running a 50-yard dash and then the dude next to you say, yo, you know this is the 880, right? Nah, but yeah, you were supposed to. So I knew that was gonna get you because you already knew your fuel.
Yeah.
So you already went like this. And then he said, yo, okay, you know, this is the 880. So this is what, you know, when it's all said and done, you know, you don't want the real work that it actually took and the sacrifice, because don't forget, you know, I don't want to go left or right, but then you have an ancestral part of this. You have the people who moved on, like the Craig Macks, like the Alvin Tonys. You know, this is the movie where, like, you know, where people didn't get to finish, you kind of got to pick up the torch and you know what it is. So if anything did go wrong, it's just that you were selfish and you got in your emotions. Okay. But with me, everybody plays a part. So it takes all of us to learn and evolve. What do I mean by that? It took one half to go in the industry and kept moving. But me, I spent a lot of time in Charlotte, Grand Canyon, you know, Red Rock country, like really learning, like what does hip hop need and what are we missing? Nature's one of the first things. So how many 40s can you, how many cases of 40s can you drink? You know, here's my pop. How much weed can you actually smoke and stuff like that before you burn yourself out? And now you can't even come do the interview.
Right.
So you have to have balance with inside. You have to have peace, and you have to be the one to be able to see. Like if you really love hip hop, then you have to be one of those ones to actually have that voice, because you see what happens. Regardless, when a group breaks apart, all the energy, the communication, whatever, it's just something not cool with that. You know, and I don't go into the, you know, the Sam Cooks and the history. You know, this is our music. We created this. Oh, and being one of the most sampled hip hop groups shows how many people follow, to be the hit squad and all the squads to follow. But it's more than music. It's how you live it, like my uncle would say. Okay, it's what type of soul you recording with. You know, this is what it is.
I have a bonus question. Give us a tour story that nobody has ever heard before dealing with EPMD.
You know, this is the worst because you can never think of them when you're there. Then when you hang up, they're all there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, it's crazy. Like when it's here, you'd be like, yo. Then when you hang up, you'd be like, wow. Like EPMD got so many stories you could not even imagine. And again, after a while, we know, like, okay, you start with the Parrish, my name like the church, and Eric's last name being Sermon. It gets to the point where you have so much success, and you've been blessed that you begin to be able to pay the backseat and you don't want to mess up your dream and your perception. Okay, you looked at hip hop, you seen what's going on and those things. So the last thing you need. Okay, so with us growing up and maturing, you know, in the support that we got, to remove that piece right now, I think it would be pretty tough for hip hop.
That's what's up. Hey, how can people get in contact with you? What is your social media handles and all that? Just run all that stuff down to us.
Okay, my social media, my Instagram is Hit Sqwad MG for music group, Hit Sqwad MG. My website is parrishsmithpmd.com. My Facebook is parrishsmithepmd, and my Twitter is PMDVPMD.
That's
and
what's up.
Follow that to keep up with us. So again, because we do all the work, we always done all the work. Now it's kind of different, because if you really want to make it in this game and it's in your heart, you just show up. That's half the battle, just showing up.
That's what's up. Look, I want to give a couple of shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Kevin, your manager. I want to give a shout out to Digital. You know, they put they put all this together, man, and I really appreciate, you know, you coming on and just you being you in the industry for so many years, that you influenced a whole generation. And when I mean that you influenced a whole generation, everybody was listening to EPMD, and basically your group made people start liking hip hop. So there were some people that really didn't understand it, didn't like hip hop, but your group, because like you guys were trendsetters, you brought DJ Scratch in, like it's so many positive things, and not even just that.
The fashion part,
we talked about it. Right.
Yeah, the fashion. This is my first interview. I didn't wear the fisherman hat, but the fisherman hat, the Timbs, the Carhartt, the Dookie ropes, you know. But then again, like this is the first time we're in uncharted, you know, the world that we live in, times that we live in. And you have to be on point with your mind in the present. You know, with hip hop, you turn, Cali's 3 hours behind, you know, 6 hours ahead of time is Europe, 5 hours ahead of time is London and stuff like that. So again, you have to have the balance. Because look at the big stars. You got Phife Dawg. We're missing a couple people in hip hop, but the culture as a whole is doing pretty good. You know, speaking on the Big Daddy Kane, speaking on the Rakim just dropped a whole album.
Just a whole album.
So it's just creating the same.
Excitement dropped the whole album.
Yo, that's amazing. And those guys, we talk. Big shout out to Daddy O, because since we were younger, he was like the big brother. You know, because look how many members Stetsasonic had. So when you play the tape back, you really thought you had all of these people out there with you, but it was just really you and the groups. You know, in so many places and countries we had to cut through, half the stories you couldn't even imagine. Because that's the real world.
No, that's what's up. And like I said, we talked about at the radio station, the one thing I like about EPMD is you always had that one song that had a message in it. And like, was that design that you guys had to say, look, you know, we got to put this out?
Yeah, because that's the way we were living. No different than, you know, like, again, I come from a big family. The neighborhoods I grew up in, all of these people, the guys were real. They were the best, man. You know, my pops was like, yo, stay away from him, and him. And if I catch you with him, like, these guys are the real deal. So everything was conceptual. If you think about it, it's my thing. You know, your customer comes from my neighbor who's 3 years older than me, you know, and some of these guys were really super, super duper in the street. So they lived inside the penitentiary. They lived inside the prisons. So when they would call my mother's house collect, I would be the one to pick up, you know. So if they wanted to speak to my mother or my brother or my sister, collect call. But in that little thing, I'd be like, yo, so what's the word in there? You know? And then they'd be like, the word is you're a customer. That's where I got the title from. You know, these are guys who grew up when I was young. They got older, different stuff. And they wasn't inside struggling. You know, they was inside. So I could call and ask, yo, what's the word? You're a customer. What does that mean? Yo, you serving niggas. Okay, cool. Yo, I passed the phone. Then go to just call up Charlie, go to the studio, because you a customer. So that's where the title came from. And the object of the game is to see the way your community and your people were living. And if they didn't have the opportunity and you had the opportunity, through you traveling and success, they live. So you're a customer. Then you got
hey, Buck, real quick before we get off the air, what is your favorite Epmd song?
Oh man, definitely. So what you that one, Your Customer is another one.
Yeah.
And I probably will have to say Brothers on My Job.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Tough, yo.
That
That one
was an intricate time too when Brothers in My Job came in. That was like we was already Epmd settling down, going to the next level.
Right.
And
you know what mine is?
What's that?
Your Custom. I mean, it's like that. Real quick, who came up with the helicopter? Because when you hear that helicopter, we were like, oh, I don't like cursing on the podcast. I like to keep it positive. But when you heard that helicopter back then, you were like, oh shit. It's about to go in. So who came up with that?
That was me. That was when my imagination was at its greatest. That's when you had time to actually create. I was a DJ before I started rapping. So DJ Easy P. And I grew up in a multicultural neighborhood through playing football. My people was from Brooklyn. I grew up in Long Island. Okay. So you'd hear the Pink Floyds, you know. But the reality is, it took me to sit down, do a lot of meditation to realize I was so far ahead of time. That's me on this my thing saying, and the stadium is packed. It's a large crowd out there today. Let's hear them play. That's my imagination before I sold one record and before I even grabbed the mic and did a show. And then here I'm on the Run's House tour and the stadium is packed and there's a helicopter right there. So that's the thing. So if you listen to It's My Thing, real Epmd fans, it comes in and it says, and the stadium is packed. It's a large crowd out there today. Let's hear them play. That's me in the studio, Charlie changing my voice. And again, Charlie being the engineer that he was before sampling machines, a lot of that was splicing.
Yep. You know what? And I apologize. I meant to say It's My Thing, but Your Customer is tough too. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna throw in the dark horse for me. I'm gonna throw in the dark horse song that is probably one of my favorites. It's Going Down. I love that song.
Wow, yo, you pick it, and it's crazy. I seen the guy who owned the studio yesterday. Ian Wallace. That was another intricate part because it was the soundtrack to the movie Juice. But I was so busy when Juice came out, I didn't have time because I was building the hit squad, even though I didn't know how Juice was going to be, because that's the time, you know, me and Pac through music and through shows and stuff like that. When people, first of all, Cali gives New York so much love since the beginning of hip hop. Like when you land, it's just love. But then when, you know, they come over here, it's the fast pace and it's moving. So if they shooting the film, you know, and they shooting in Manhattan and you Long Island, you're more reluctant to go to the studio than to try to go, you know, do the road. That's why it was a cameo. But it's so Going Down, I was able to commit to the soundtrack. That's the whole point. You know, and it was that time where we had downtime and we was in between business as usual and business never personal.
Okay, now a bonus last question is, what is your favorite Epmd or Parrish Smith song that you still to this day it's like, yo, this song was absolutely crazy? So what's your favorite?
Our most innocent one, nothing to do with the classics, I would say Strictly Snapping Necks, because again, this is the way I heard it when I was out there, you know, on the Run's House tour. It wasn't just music, like, yo, there was gangs, yo, there was a whole bunch of stuff. There was no cameras, so you got to see it like totally raw and then come back and write about it. Now that's in the control, Strictly Snapping Neck. Okay, and please listen to my demo. In it, like really, I would have to say Hold Me Down on Out of Business, because those are real lyrics and that's what was really going on.
I like the James and Who's Booty. I like that. That's my dark horse.
Right. Well, those are like, to me, those are rest songs during the shows because they're just so easy and they're fun. Okay, so you're right. The James, the demos, the Who's Booties, You know, I listened to those rhymes, and that was more tour mode in the lyrical form. I don't know if you can hear what I'm saying, because we was introduced to that with no supervision. And I don't say that lightly, because the ones who are older than us, you know, when I don't really speak on it the way I'm supposed to speak on it, they circle back around and be like, yo, you know, we left here. I left in 85, 87, and then now we just really getting back to in 2024. The sacrifice for the music.
Look, I really want to thank you for coming on. It's always been a pleasure talking to you.
Yes.
We gotta keep in contact. We're gonna play your new single. We're gonna get that in rotation.
Yeah, and Kevin's brother to Connected. Shout out to 704. All right, no, I'm there.
That's
to the advocacy. I'm known as the Terminator, funky beat maker, New Jack Exterminator, destroying unemployed when your mind's in that void, never sweating no girl. She's a schizoid. Had to give you all that.
You know what? You know what?
Yeah,
I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say about that, brother. I mean, like I said, it's always been a pleasure. We're always going to support you 100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna be back. Man. After all of this, I'm like, oh, I'll be back. Arnold,
you're definitely gonna be back.
I'll be back. No.
Like I said, shout out to DJ Dow, shout out to Kevin out there for making this
All
happen.
of these guys are independent hustling. Again, you know, we just had to create that lane in 2024 so it can be clarity and people know what's going on. You don't want to be out there struggling or people label you like, look over there. We're like, yo, we got big dumb energy. You see, we don't play in our shows, and it's just like a great reset. Like we starting all over. Like we just got our first deal.
Parrish, I really want to thank you for coming on, man. Anything that we could do to help you out, support you, music wise, just let us know, brother.
Yo, big shout out to Philly, because that was one of our biggest markets out there. Okay, and big shout out to the Cold Crush brothers. Big shout out to Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, and all the guys who made it possible for us to be here in this generation. Got to keep them close.
That's what's up. Hey, look, man, I want to thank you for coming on and keep in touch. All right, bro.
Yeah, my pleasure. Anytime. Y'all take care.
All right, man.
All right, you too.
Okay. Peace.
Peace.
Okay. One thing before we get out of here, and it's not going to be long drawn out because I know you got a DJ set. He has so much energy, man, that it makes you want to go out and pull out your old Epmd albums right now to go listen to the old PMD joints to listen to them. I mean, it's like that is a breath of fresh air of hip hop. Not saying that we needed it, but it's there and it has so much energy. And that's what I love about our era, because they are still excited about the music and the culture.
Right.
So, any last words? Because that was a big interview, bro. We had some big interviews, and we're gonna have some even more interesting interviews coming up. But what's your reaction, bro? I mean, we just had Parrish Smith on.
Another one in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying, pay attention. Boombox Union.
Hey, look, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Artists out there, if you feel as though that you can or want to be on the Boombox Union, here's all the information right there. It's right at the bottom. The Boombox Union 90@gmail.com. Listen to Soulbuck every Thursday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Beat Miners Radio. You can follow him on Instagram at DJ Soulbuck, djsoulbuck@gmail.com. And what is the other station that you're on, my brother?
Rap Station. That's on Wednesday nights from 7 to 8 p.m. East Coast time.
That's what's up. And I'm on Sabi Radio every single Sunday, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. on WPRB 103.3 FM, playing classic and independent hip hop. Man, look, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we're just trying to keep the culture going. And I really want to thank Parrish Smith for coming on, man, because that was a very, very, very good interview, man. So with that being said, we're out of here, Buck. I'll talk to you later. Peace.